we always start our program hearing from someone who is directly impacted by breast cancer and someone who is actively in treatment. So I want to ask Jessica to join me. I know she'll figure out how to turn on her video. Hi, Jessica.
Hi, Jean. Good morning,
So good
everyone.
to see you. Before you start, Jessica, I know we've all heard a lot of in various statements, inspirational things during this time. But one thing that really stuck with me is, you know, we're all in the same storm, but we're not all in the same boat. And so some of us are on that cruise liner, some of us are on that raft or that dinghy or maybe a motorboat or a sailboat. But we really have to remember that this pandemic, while it's impacting all of us, it is impacting us differently depending on your life circumstances. And for women and men in treatment, it is taking a very specific toll. So Jessica, I'm excited to hear your story.
Thank you, Jean, and good morning to everybody watching at home. In July of last year, I was diagnosed with stage 3 triple negative breast cancer. I was 32 years old, had just recently gotten engaged as well as started my dream job, and in fact, I wasn't even off my probationary period yet at time of diagnosis. My young life and everything I had planned and worked so hard for was immediately upended and called into question. A few days after being diagnosed, Jean, who was at that point a total stranger to me, sent me some LBBC literature through a family friend. And this was the first bit of support from the breast cancer community that I received. And I remember that while I was reading the guide for the newly diagnosed, it felt so surreal. But that a tiny bit of the paralysis, despair, and fear that I had been so tightly gripped by in those early days started to loosen as I began to feel ever so slightly less alone and reassured that my feelings were normal. I called Jean. I was desperate to speak to a person who understood, and I tearfully confided in her that I couldn't see my future anymore. And I listened with faint hope to her. She gently counseled me that it would get better. As my treatment progressed, I looked to LBBC's website for clear, trusted facts to inform my treatment decisions, side effect management, and most helpfully, for strength from the testimonials and reflections of all the women who came before me. When the annual conference rolled around, it took place 2 days after my third dose of adriamycin. And I remember disappointedly telling Jean that I wasn't going to be able to make it, obviously. That's okay, she said, we're going to have another conference next year. And it hit home for me that breast cancer would remain a part of my life the following year and every year after. And then I felt a mix of anxiety and relief. I was relieved because here was a supportive and helpful community looking to embrace me in my hour of such need, but anxious because I did not know how I was ever going to fit in with them, with all of you, to make it from where I was then, scared, terrified, to the likes of women at this conference, looking happy, hopeful, and empowered by information rather than afraid of it. Later that fall, I was invited to be in a photo shoot for Living Beyond, and participating gave me the opportunity to say yes and to celebrate a specific moment in my life, mid-chemotherapy, beautiful, bald, very bloated, and to do that in front of a dozen strangers and a camera. With the Living Beyond team by my side, I found bravery and boldness within myself that has helped carry me through the additional hurdles I faced in treatment and lately through the COVID-19 pandemic. Today, while I am disappointed that we can't truly be together on the Art Museum steps for this amazing and inspiring event, I am so humbled and so grateful to share my story with you and to find my own smiling face on Living Beyond's website. Thanks in no small part to this community and all the knowledge and support that it provides, I'm able to more clearly and confidently see my future and how I will navigate the challenges and the joys of living beyond breast cancer.
See, this is when I really just want to give you a hug. I hate this pandemic.
Me too.
I have had the honor to get to know Jessica from the beginning of her diagnosis, which I talk to a lot of newly diagnosed women, but I don't always get to follow them through their whole process. And I will say that Jessica has had a lot of bumps in the road, like many of you out there. And she has really navigated them, and she's become a real advocate for herself and for others. So I'm so honored to be on the screen with you today, even though ironically Jessica and I live like 2 blocks away, but that's what the world is. So Jessica, I'm going to show you that you're not alone. I mean, I see these comments coming through that are incredible, but we're going to bring in this community, and they're going to put up signs and let you know how long they have been doing well with their cancer diagnosis. So I know all of you are on different kinds of devices, but I hope you can open it up to gallery mode for a minute, and you can see these amazing, amazing women and men. I think Steve is there. Yep, there's Steve. And this group makes up some of our incredible volunteers and really trusted supporters. So Jessica, you are surrounded, whether you like it or not. You're part of the team.